828-333-9517 with locations in Asheville and in Greeneville. 828-333-9517. That's 828-333-9517.
Hey guys, there is some important news that all men should take very seriously. Your prostate health. Are you urinating more frequently? Are you waking up at night to urinate? Are you sick and tired of prostate pills that just don't work? Sound familiar? If you are one of the millions of men with prostate problems that are driving you nuts, there is some great news. Prosthogenics is the all-natural product that beat over 157 other prostate supplements in lab tests and was rated the #1 most powerful prostate supplement in the world. #1, because it works. So why not try some Prosthogenics, and your prostate troubles will be a thing of the past. You'll get a great night's sleep and stop waking up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom. To get your free bottle of Prosthogenics, call now, 800-600-2020. That's 1-800-600-2020. Take advantage of our 90-day money-back guarantee. Call 800-600-2020. Do it now.
DQ presents... Picture this. You stand before the awe-inspiring new signature stack burger menu at DQ and your mouth wonders, where have you been all my life? That's 5 taste bud tempting cheeseburgers with 100% real seasoned beef. You peek at the loaded A1 stack burger with 2 premium sauces. Then the flamethrower stack burger with tongue-tingling jalapeno bacon. Then you realize moments like these are exactly why we have the DQ signature stack burger menu. DQ. Happy tastes good. Get it delivered at DQ.com.
It's good to have choices. We're your alternative, Alt 101.1, with music like this and this. We're Asheville's alternative rock, Alt 101.1.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. Heat guard Kyle Lowry is out for tonight's Game 6 against the 76ers with that lingering left hamstring soreness. This will be the 6th playoff game Lowry has missed. Our coverage of the Heat and Sixers starts at 6:30 Eastern on ESPN Radio, TV, and the app. And ESPN's Seth Greenberg says the Sixers have to get a big game from Joel Embiid.
This team is undermanned in relation to the depth of the Heat. The Heat's depth is absolutely wearing Philadelphia out. If Joel Embiid is not 100% healthy, which he's not 100% healthy, he's the one thing. Play through him, get him touches. He's got to dominate this game.
Seth Greenberg on KJ and Max. After the Heat and Sixers, Game 6 for the Suns and Mavericks on ESPN. The Heat and Suns both looking for closeout wins tonight. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports #1 overall pick defensive end Trayvon Walker agrees to terms on his rookie contract with the Jaguars. The Patriots will trade backup quarterback Jarrett Stidham to the Raiders. In return, the teams will flip late-round draft picks.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
Drew Holiday definitely helped seal the game, but there's no way they're in a position to even seal the game unless Giannis has this masterful performance.
It's Friday with KJ and Max. It all starts at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2.
Now your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Grand. That's grand. Enter it on our station website now.
Log on to ESPNABL.com.
In the heart of Beer City, USA, 2 men, 1 journey to create a sports show unlike any other. Unfiltered, raw, and honest. One of them played a soccer goalie opposite Ben Stiller. The other once scored 6 points on Steph Curry. These guys know their shit.
Let's go!
Tank Spencer, Jeremy Greene, the Sportsocracy. Presented by Ingles Supermarkets. Low prices, love the savings.
And welcome into the Thursday night that we've all been waiting for. It is the NFL schedule release. The Sportsocracy, live here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400, heard everywhere on the iHeart Radio app. And, of course, seen everywhere on YouTube. All you got to do is go to thesportsocracy.com, click on that live video link. Once you're through to YouTube, just hit that subscribe button. Join us in the chat easiest way to get immediate access into the program. Your questions, comments, all of that, we will be paying attention to those all throughout the program. And this evening at 8 o'clock, when we will be live on YouTube exclusively with the NFL schedule release. It's apparently, according to Scott Hansen, the guy that we all know and love, it is the midway point between regular season NFL football.
That's exactly what it is. This is like halftime. We've had things to talk about, and now we're not going to have things to talk about because there will be virtually nothing that comes out over the next 6 weeks.
Yeah.
It gets really quiet for the next 6 weeks.
For the NFL world. We still have the NBA going on. We got the NBA playoffs, which we will get you up to date on what happened last night. Oh, the Warriors got stomped in Memphis.
Smoked. Scattered, smothered, covered, chunked, diced.
But, hey, at least they were having a good time, right?
Whatever word you want to use, that is what happened to them.
At least they were having a good time, though. I mean, they're up dancing and just having a good old time, singing along to Hustle and Flow there in the FedEx Forum.
Yeah, they got hustled and did not flow.
They did not flow.
It was ugly. It was brutal. And I'll be honest with you, I don't take sweeping declarations from one game. Golden State's got a problem. They have a legitimate big boy problem.
All right. We'll talk about that later on in this hour, as well as we had one quarterback traded in the NFL today.
Woo. Jared Stidham. You remember when he was supposed to be the replacement to Tom Brady?
Uh-huh.
That was awesome.
Yeah. We've got trade rumors involving the Carolina Panthers as well that we will get into. The franchise, the face of the franchise. Carolina Panthers got the call, and they said not available.
But there's
a good move.
But there's one thing that I want to talk about above all else. Sam Howell refuses to eat steak. What in the world? No wonder he fell into the 5th round. If you looked at me and said the only protein I eat is chicken, off the board.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's why he was, he had the deal with Bojangles. Did
and look, Bojangles is phenomenal.
He did not ever pub the steak biscuits, I guess, at Bojangles. It was only about the chicken.
That's not steak. I don't know what that is. They call it steak. It's delicious. It's
heaven.
Happiness.
It's heaven on a biscuit.
It's not steak. I mean, it might
come
from that
steak.
Okay. I don't believe that, but I don't care. It tastes like happiness.
So the steak, egg, and cheese biscuit at Bojangles the best thing on the menu.
And I want, in the YouTube comments, we'll be asking this throughout the show. What would your response be if somebody looked at you and said, I bring my own chicken nuggets to parties? Because I know exactly what mine would be.
Can I have some? That would be your answer.
Okay, that would be the second question. My first question would be, how do you do this? Do you have like a little doggy bag that you show up and go, hey guys, brought some beers and my tendies? Do you bring sauces? Do you assume there will be sauces there? How exactly does that work?
Are these sharing nuggets or are these just you nuggets? Did you bring enough for the class or not?
I feel like if you're somebody that refuses to eat a steak, and if you don't know what we're talking about, Sam Howell did an interview and basically said he's never eaten a steak in his life.
Nope.
And he doesn't like cheeseburgers. And the only protein, and he's never had any kind of seafood either.
Nope.
And my brain began to hurt because he was my number one quarterback in this class.
Mm-hmm.
And now I have questions.
And you had not heard this before?
I had never heard it. I knew he had some picky culinary tastes.
Okay.
I didn't know it was this drastic.
Okay.
I've never eaten a steak. Like, if somebody said that to me, if you're a vegetarian, that's one thing. If you say, no, I only like chicken, my next question is going to be, how many bodies do you have buried in your basement?
Right.
Because you're a serial killer. Because that's the weirdest thing I think anybody's ever said to me.
My question is, how does he know? If he's never had a steak, how does he know that chicken is the only protein that he likes?
Well, because he's there
weird.
are children all over the place that I don't like it. How do you know? I just don't.
Exactly. See, this is what a coddled upbringing will give you. When
I'm
your
not
kid
even saying
only
that.
eats chicken nuggets.
I have a steak sitting in our fridge right now waiting for the show to be over so I can eat it between now and the schedule release.
All right, 8 o'clock tonight. Join us on YouTube for the full coverage of the schedule release. We've had all the leaks coming out today.
And most of them are totally nonsensical.
Really?
A few of the ones I've seen are not physically possible.
The one I have seen, Carolina Panthers opening up the season at home at Bank of America Stadium against the Cleveland Browns. Yeah. Yeah.
I want that to be a thing so bad, and I want to be in that stadium even worse.
We knew that the Cleveland Browns are going to play in Carolina, but opening week, that's going to be rough, especially for Carolina Panthers fans if Deshaun Watson is going to be playing on the field at the time. I mean, that's just what you set your whole season on. Your whole offseason plan was, we could get Deshaun Watson. No, you can't. And guess what? Week 1, you're going to be faced with him in your own house.
Patrick Holt in our YouTube comment said, why is this such a big topic talking about Sam Howell? I personally know people who have never eaten meat their entire lives. I already prefaced that.
Mm-hmm.
Vegetarian, I get it. If you have a mental aversion to it, that's your choice. I have no issue with that. My issue is where you say, I bring my own chicken tendies to parties. First of all, I didn't know that was a thing. Now I'm probably going to do it.
Just bring your own snacks.
You know what? I'll just go to McDonald's, get a 40-piece McNugget, which I think you can get for 11 cents at this point.
Right.
And just ride around with 6 packets of barbecue sauce and some nuggies.
Yeah, no, there are weird people in this world. And those of you who don't eat steak, you're the weird ones. Congratulations.
I'm not even going to go there. I'm just glad that there are people like that so that there's more for me.
True. Very true. We've got all of that to get into over the next 2 hours. The NBA, the trade rumors with Christian McCaffrey, the schedule release. We're going to play free agent NFL match game as well. We've still got some big names out there to be had by NFL teams. So Flostradamus will try to make his predictions on where all of these top free agents are going to land. We need to start off with the Los Angeles Lakers because
they just can't stop.
In the last couple of days, it's gotten pretty loud. So Jennie Buss did an interview with Bill Plaschke of the LA Times, who has I've got my issues with Bill Plaschke. Did you see the other day he came out on Twitter and said that the 3-point the 3-pointer in basketball ruined basketball?
Well, he's also 906 years old, but he's very good at what he does.
He is very good.
He's a great journalist in this field.
He's just got some of those some of his opinions aren't worth a lot, in my opinion. But he sat down with Jennie Buss, and Jennie Buss obviously saying she's not happy with the fact that they had the 4th highest payroll in the NBA this past year. They missed out on the playoffs. When you pay that much for a team, you don't expect to be sitting at home watching other teams play right now. And this has been rumored for a while, but Bill Plaschke goes on the Doug Gottlieb show on Fox Sports Radio and says that he has heard that Phil Jackson wants LeBron James traded, and he wants to keep Russell Westbrook with the Los Angeles Lakers.
And I don't disagree with him.
Why?
All right, let's say you bring this team back, because you're not going to be able to move on from Russ. There's not a team in this league that would take him. He would get the Baker Mayfield treatment. I won't take him for $0 US. Mm-hmm. All right, so you're stuck there for a year. You have Anthony Davis that's 28 years old. He's the centerpiece of the organization. You have seen what this looks like with LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
It's loud. It's really loud. And the expectations are dumb. So why not move off of him? You're not winning anything. I don't think even the biggest idiot in all of NBA lore would look at that roster and go, you have a shot to win anything.
Right.
So why not move the one piece that you could actually move for 100% of what they're worth?
100% of what they're worth?
I mean, you got to remember, he's 38 years old, so I'm not here telling you you're going to get 4 first-rounders for him because that's not going to happen.
But what would the haul be? What
I would say a couple ones and probably a young player. And you know what that will do for the furtherance of your franchise? A lot more LeBron James will. First of all, he's got 1 foot in the NBA grave and 1 foot on a banana peel because all he's doing is sitting around waiting for his son to show up.
True.
he's going to dictate where he goes. Anthony Davis at this point is probably not worth 5 cents on the dollar of what you paid to get him there.
Oh, yeah.
You wouldn't get half of what you gave up for him.
Mm-hmm.
Although the Chicago Bulls have made it very well known, if you do decide to move him, we're all in. You just can't have Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, or Nikola Vucevic.
Oh, okay.
All right. A fun package of Patrick Williams.
Kobe White.
Out. Seacrest out. You have to do something. You cannot trot back into another season with this core the way it's built.
Yeah.
Because there are a small percentage of delusional people that would look at this roster and go, that's a top 2 seed in the West. No, it's not, and it's not even close.
Right. Phil Jackson, very smart guy. And so, and obviously his voice is well respected within the Lakers organization. Obviously, he used to be attached to Jennie Buss in more ways than one. And, I can't disagree, but there's also that thing of, do you want to end this with LeBron?
What do you mean? Do you want to end this with LeBron?
Is this how you envisioned it? No. But is this the best path forward?
This relationship with LeBron and the Lakers is a lot like a bad marriage. You know it's going to end. The question is, does it end in a good way or a bad way?
Mm-hmm.
And I would argue the bad way is you don't go to him right now and say, where would you want to go?
Mm-hmm.
You give us a list of 4 teams. And it would be Miami, Cleveland. I don't know who the other 2 would be, but
Phoenix.
The Phoenix is not giving up the pieces that would be requisite for that. There's just not. So, you're going to have to be realistic in this. You're not going to get what – I feel like people would see the package of how this would be done and be disappointed by it, and you shouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
This is a guy that's got 2 good-ish years left.
Mm-hmm.
And people go to the stats and go, look how many points he scored this year. Yeah, he was also horribly inefficient because he tried to do too much. He knew exactly what he was. There's nothing around him.
Right, because the rest of the team was horrible.
And there's this revisionist history that Michael wasn't the same guy. There's this thought that Michael at 40 years old was still the best player in the NBA. He was the best player on a team that went 32-50.
Mm-hmm.
This was always how this was going to go. Michael, Kobe, I can do this with a ton of players.
That's the cloud that's hanging over the Los Angeles Lakers right now, or should be, is remember the last years of Kobe.
It was horrible.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
The only thing you tuned in for was to see Kobe, to see how many points Kobe could score.
It was hard to watch.
Mm-hmm.
As somebody that grew up loving Kobe Bryant, it was hard to watch. And it was solely because they had given him the contract, and now this is a marriage that nobody's moving on. We're just in it.
But this is what it is. This is where you're at with the Los Angeles Lakers. Because if there are no takers, which I agree with you that there would be no takers for Russell Westbrook, then maybe he is the best piece. I mean, I would think that Anthony Davis would get you more.
Anthony Davis would get. I mean, you gave up 4 ones to get him.
Mm-hmm. But could you
and
not
you're
get,
not recouping anything near that.
I was going to say, could you not get a similar package that you would get for LeBron? Two ones and a young player.
Yeah, but one of them's 28 years old, one of them's 38.
I understand that.
I would rather ride with Anthony Davis and one more year of Russell Westbrook than tie myself to LeBron James.
Mm-hmm.
See, the problem with LeBron, he sets an expectation. And I think Jennie Buss knows this. And I think Phil Jackson and Magic Johnson know this. Because that's the 2 that she's seeking advice from at this point. First of all, that's like seeking marriage advice from me and Charlie Sheen. I'm not so sure that's who I would be turning to. But since you are, let's just go with that. They know. If LeBron's on this team, the expectation is going to be excised, and we're going to be on the front page of the LA Times for 6 months of how is this team so bad? Because there's nothing you can do. There is no path to you being – I mean, just look at the teams that are left. Is there a shot of you being better than Golden State?
No.
No. Memphis.
No.
Phoenix.
No.
Dallas.
No.
That doesn't include a slew of teams that are already out. I would go all the way to New Orleans before I went, that's a team you're better than.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think you're better than them, mainly because they have a roster that's built off the dregs of what you traded off to get Anthony Davis.
Right.
So at what point do you just go, all right, what if we just blow it up? We're the Lakers. We'll find a way to come back 2 years from now. Mm-hmm. There will be some star player that goes, I'm going to be the guy that saves the Lakers franchise. But you can get rid of the headache right now. And I know it sounds insane. It sounds insane that you would keep Russell Westbrook and move off LeBron. There's one huge difference. One of them signed for 1 year. Mm-hmm. You're done with this in 12 months. It's over. Over.
Yeah. You got 2 more years of LeBron. At least.
And for me, I wouldn't really care what I got in return. I want you to not be in this building anymore. We got our one title. There's a cute little asterisk next to it. And this will be one of those periods of Laker lore that doesn't necessarily be looked at fondly.
Right.
In the annals of Laker history.
Right.
I mean, because be honest with yourself. The Kobe treatment, even the Kareem Jerry West treatment, that ain't coming for LeBron. That's not how this is going to end. Well, he won his ring. Mm-hmm. And he will always be, yeah, but you're not a Laker. Right. You were a Cav. You were a member of the Heat.
Right.
You got us a ring, but you're not one of the legends. Your jersey's not going up in the rafters.
Right.
So then what are you waiting for? That's the part of it. Because when I read it, I thought that's insane. And then I thought about it. What's the downside? Where is the downside in that idea?
I don't know. I honestly don't know the downside in that.
Because, to me, there isn't one.
Because what you're doing is all you're doing is speeding up the rebuild. You know you're going to have to rebuild in 2 years.
Which I always want to do.
Yeah. You know you're going to have to rebuild in 2 years anyway. So you're speeding up the rebuild here. You're recouping some draft capital that you can, from the Anthony Davis deal. You get to keep one of the best young players in the NBA, which I still believe Anthony Davis is, despite the fact that he can't stay healthy.
Well, he's never been able to stay healthy. You knew that when you traded for him. So that part of that's not new. It's new because now he's on a bigger scale. He's on a bigger stage, and it would be harder for a fan base to sell.
Right.
Look at the Bulls. All right, if the Bulls who got into the first round of the playoffs and were competitive for the first time in a billion years, you trade off DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine for Anthony Davis, your fan base would lose their minds. They would crush you every day for the next 6 months.
The question is there a team that is close to being a contender that would give up the capital that the Lakers would want in return for LeBron? Because LeBron's not gonna. He's not gonna go to the Magic.
There's one. I'll tell you who that is.
All right.
After the break.
You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
East winds coming from the ocean towards western North Carolina for late week. Big area of coastal low pressure hanging out off the coast of Georgia, keeping those east winds into the weekend. We'll pick up the rain chances starting Friday and continuing into the weekend, and mainly in the 70s for the next few days. 58 our low tonight, and some showers possible Friday. High 73 degrees. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples Print and Marketing Services help small business print big with wide format signs and banners. Right now, get $10 off custom printed signs, banners, and posters when you spend $50 or more. Offer ends 7/2. Visit staples.com/thisisyoursign for details. This is your sign to print big at Staples.
It's not too late for a deep spring cleaning on your home. Schedule Zero-Res carpet and air duct cleaning today and get 3 rooms of carpet clean for only $119. Mention ESPN Asheville and you'll get a hallway clean for free. Schedule with these at ZeroResAsheville.com. Zero-Res, it's the right way to clean.
iHeartRadio Earth is here with little tips for a healthier planet. Globally, about 1,000 plants we depend on for food and products need to be pollinated by animals, including coffee, melons, chocolate, almonds, and even tequila. Help stabilize the declining honeybee population by planting native plants that they rely on for food, habitat, and nesting. Brought to you by iHeartRadio Earth and the National Environmental Education Foundation. To find more tips for smarter, sustainable living or to take action in your own community, go to iHeartRadio.com/earth.
I'm Michelle V. Woodhouse for Congress, and I authorized this message. Madison Cawthorn has self-destructed and cannot win the race for Congress. That's why true mountain conservatives are now moving to support America First conservative Michelle Woodhouse. Conservatives understand that Michelle Woodhouse is our only chance to keep our congressional seat in conservative hands. A vote for Madison Cawthorn is a wasted vote that could allow an establishment politician like Chuck Edwards to win our seat. That's why it's so important that conservatives unite behind Michelle Woodhouse now. Michelle Woodhouse will fight against Joe Biden's socialist agenda, and Michelle Woodhouse is the only candidate who can win in November. This race is coming down to two people, conservative Michelle Woodhouse versus Chuck Edwards, who is the establishment candidate. In other words, Chuck Edwards is just like Richard Burr and Adam Kinzinger. Conservatives, the choice is clear. Michelle Woodhouse for Congress. Paid for by Michelle V. Woodhouse for Congress.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Starting trouble. No one likes that. We'll get you set up for some stronger starts. You might just need a fresh charge, and we'll take care of that free of charge. But if it is time for a new battery, we've got replacement batteries that'll fit your needs, starting at just $69.99. You can learn more about our battery selection at AutoZone.com. That's what makes us America's #1 battery destination.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Claim based on data from the NPD Group 2021.
River Ridge Marketplace in East Asheville has been a staple of Buncombe County for generations, and now they're inviting you to their Spring Fling, May 28th from 11 to 4. There'll be food from their great restaurants such as Happy Cinco de Mayo, J&S Cafeteria, and many more. They'll also have sidewalk sales from their amazing vendors, snow cones, inflatables, and a petting zoo for the kids. So join me May 28th from 11 to 4 at River Ridge Marketplace.
Real estate isn't about properties, it's about people. I'm Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, your native realtor serving all of Western North Carolina. I will work hard for you, and I believe in doing the right thing every time. I market each of my listings to reach out-of-town buyers. I use a professional photographer and drone video on every single listing, as well as collaborate with agents across the country to find your buyer. Check me out online at clarissasellswnc.com or give me a call at 828-774-6343. It would be my pleasure to assist you through the real estate process.
The Sportsocracy.
Take all this, burn it, okay? Gasoline, kerosene, either one. Burn it.
You're in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville. So Flostradamus, Jeremy Greene, who is it? Who's the one team that's close to being a contender or is a contender now that would be willing to make a deal for LeBron James?
The one everybody's going to say is Cleveland, because Cleveland has they're one of the youngest teams in the league. But my fear is that you would have to gut that team to get to LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
There's a team that I don't think you have to do that with.
Okay.
It's the New York Knicks.
It's
the New York Knicks.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I'll tell you exactly how I would do it.
Okay.
I go to them. You get one piece. We have a couple young guys.
Mm-hmm.
We have a lot of draft picks. We'll take Russ and LeBron. We'll take them both. We'll completely speed up your process because I'll give you first-round picks. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not because the Knicks are not currently competitive. This is one of the teams that did not make the playoffs. For me, I'm probably not parting with R.J. Barrett. Probably just not going to do it. I'll give you as many first-round picks as you want because as long as I have LeBron in the building, which would be 2 or 3 years, then we'll be competitive enough.
We'll make the playoffs.
Him playing in that Thibodeau style, being in the East, and it will make us relevant.
Okay.
That's the only one that makes sense to me. It's the only one.
But
Miami, why would I give – I'm already on the precipice of the Eastern Conference Finals anyway. Why would I give up any of my young pieces for LeBron James?
Agreed.
Makes no sense. So you're going to have to find a team that's every bit as desperate as you are. Well, there's only one of those. And it's the only one that's in a bigger media market than you.
So who's the young player? If you say you're off R.J. Barrett, which they should be. They should be, no, R.J. Barrett is a cannot touch.
Well, you would have to include my brain just went completely blank. Julius Randle. I keep wanting to call him Julius Powell for some reason.
To make their money work?
There's no other way you're doing this. And you're going to have to throw in a ton of filler.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm L.A., I don't really care. I don't care. I want these two guys out of the building, period. The only team dumb enough to take on Russell Westbrook would be the New York Knicks.
Mm-hmm.
And this would be one of those gross, man, you didn't get much back. No, but we got a whole lot of headache out of the building. A whole lot. And you get into pick swaps and things like that for the next it would be several years.
Yeah. I just can't see that makes the New York Knicks relevant again. I mean, because you still
LeBron
stay
in that market? Absolutely.
Because you still stay in that.
I didn't say it made them good.
Okay, because I was going to say you're still in that. What, the 6th seed might be the best you could possibly do.
I mean, looking at the East, you're not going to be better than Milwaukee. You're not going to be better than Miami, Boston, Philadelphia. Then you get into Toronto, Chicago, Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's about where you're at. But there's no other team that's that. I mean,
throw Kemba Walker in that deal.
Yeah, Kemba Walker to make the money work. We'll give you all the expensive guys that can't play.
Obi Toppin.
And that's the thing. You got to remember, because I'm sure somebody's going to hear me say the Knicks and go, they don't have any pieces. No, they have a lot of broken toys that would be, in theory, attractive to a rebuilding franchise.
Yeah. Quickly.
Emmanuel Quickly, Mitchell Robinson, Obi Toppin, Quentin Grimes. They have a lot of young guys. Are they stars? No.
Mm-mm.
The LA Lakers had one player that was under 30 this year.
Right.
That played high end. Well, two is Malik Monk and Austin Reeves. That's it.
So you want to reset the decks. You want to be able to add some pieces in the next offseason.
Oh, you're missing the point. There's no wanting to in this. For New York, there's no we want to do this. This is two teams looking at this is Rochambeau.
No, I was talking about from the Lakers standpoint.
I don't think the Lakers necessarily want to do this either, but they don't want to go through another season like last year.
Mm-hmm.
This is the old game of Rochambeau. I get you, then you get me. Is it going to be fun for either one of us? No.
So this is the John Wall, Russell Westbrook trade all over
100%. That's the only way you do it.
Okay.
It's the only way you're going to accomplish it. I've gone through the entire league trying to find anybody that made sense.
Frankly, I don't think it's going to happen. I think the likelihood that LeBron James gets traded by the Los Angeles Lakers, you're more likely to make a trip to the moon in a sedan.
I don't agree with you on that. The reason I'm saying that's because Jennie Buss has shown since it's been her show, she is super impatient.
Mm-hmm.
She rambled on to bit. Do you know how long that interview took? It was over 2 hours of her just rambling on about how disappointed she is, and you can't have a salary cap this high and be this bad.
Mm-hmm.
Desperate people do desperate things. And I feel like that's where she's at. That's where that organization's at.
Okay.
And before anybody says it about Cleveland, name me the player. I tried every iteration humanly possible.
Darius
we'll
Garland.
give up. Are you out of your mind?
Not a chance.
After I stopped laughing, there would be a slew of obscenities that came behind that. And I would say the same thing on Colin Sexton, Evan Mobley, Jared Allen. No shot. I wouldn't do it straight up. If the money worked, I wouldn't do it. And I think that's how they would feel, too.
Mm-hmm.
But they're the only one that even makes...
Why would you go back? Why would you go back to the LeBron era?
I mean, there would be a merit to that.
Mm-hmm.
There would be a merit to having him in the building. But not at the expense of hurting your talent.
Right.
If you're Cleveland, you can sit back and just let this develop. We have 2 point guards, so one of these guys is not going to be here. I will make a move on one of those guys a year from now. I don't have to do anything. Karis LeVert, are you out of your mind? No, I'm not giving you Karis LeVert. I stole him from the Nets anyway.
Right. We'll see if it goes anywhere. But when you have a guy like Phil Jackson, who has the ear of the ownership and the respect of the front office, you could see something working.
The great Yogi himself.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
All right, for risk that we pulled the same story, Jeremy, I want you to go first. on the just a bit outside today?
I'm going to say you probably didn't because I had to dig pretty deep for mine.
Oh, you did? Okay.
And mine is a former member of my team.
Oh.
So I had to tell this story.
Okay.
With the U.S. Open coming up just right around the corner, this is the time of year where you see the local qualifiers. The U.S. Open's one of the weird events where you get, hey, Joe from the local country club is playing in the U.S. Open.
So glad I let you go first.
Why? Is this the exact same?
This is the same story that I was going to use.
Probably.
I had a backup just in case.
Indeed. Former NFL running back Danny Woodhead is just one step away from playing in the U.S. Open. Former Jet, former New England Patriot, Baltimore Raven, shot an even par to advance as one of the 5 qualifiers into the next to last stage of advancing to the U.S. Open.
Okay.
Do you realize how hard that is? This is not, hey, I play at my local golf course and I can shoot in the 70s. Tony Romo played on one of these courses and shot a 90. That's impressive.
So Danny Woodhead is now qualified?
He's not qualified.
Okay.
So now he has to go into the way local qualifying works is there's basically 4 stages. So you have to qualify at your local club to be their entrant. Then you get into the first qualifier. You have to finish in the top 5. They put you into a more regionalized qualifier where you again have to finish in the top 5, and then you do it again. And the winner of that gets into the Open.
Gotcha.
The chances of him actually making it are astronomically high.
Right.
He finished tied for 3rd in the qualifier. But the fact that the little tiny running back that the Jets drafted and then somehow let Bill Belichick get hold of, I'm still not over that 10 years later, is 2 steps away. That's incredibly impressive.
Not the same story, but I'm glad you told it because mine is about U.S. Open qualifiers as well. A man named John Eckert, he lost a bet with his buddies.
Oh, yeah.
He lost a bet with his buddies. He was in a fantasy football league, and, he thought there was no chance that he was going to get just scattered, smothered, and covered last year in fantasy football, but we all know how injuries go. And sometimes a very strong-looking team at the beginning of the year can leave you wanting at the end of the season. And he went into the season with Kyler Murray as his quarterback. Well, Kyler got hurt, and he didn't have much of a chance after that, especially after Derrick Henry, his running back, got hurt as well. So he ends up finishing in last because he said from there, everything just unraveled for the rest of the season. Well, the loser's bet that they had for their fantasy football league was that you would have to compete in a 2022 U.S. Open local qualifier. Now, they're all golfers, but none of them are really good at golf. And so the time started to go by, and he got little reminders from his guys like, hey, that qualifier is coming up pretty soon. And then this past Monday, the day came. And the funny part to me is how he even got into the tournament. Because if you register as an amateur, you have to have a score. You have to have a handicap of like 1.4.
Which is real low if you're not an avid golfer.
Well, this guy's handicap is between 18 and 20.
Which is real not good.
Yes, which means breaking 100 in any round is not really guaranteed for you to do so.
No, it's one of those guys that comes to you and says, hey, I had a great round. I shot an 87.
Yeah.
Not shooting your age, but might shoot the year you were born in.
Well, John Eckert, he registered for the Open qualifier as a professional. They don't do any checks on the professionals. If you register as a professional, they go, okay, this guy's a professional. Boom, here you go. Well, I'm pretty sure there's going to be checks after this because he showed up on Monday and he shot a 112.
Yep, this is not the first time this has happened.
Really?
No, this is the first one that I've ever heard that paid off a fantasy football bet. But I have heard people sign up for these saying they were pros and they were not.
Right.
To the point of I've considered doing it myself.
This guy got into a 9:10 starting time with 2 other locals in the Kansas City area. One's a former college golfer, Cole Gritton. I don't know if you know that name, Jeremy.
Not even a little bit.
I know you watch college golf. You're the only person on the planet that I know that watches college golf.
No, there's plenty of us.
Oh, I'm sure
meetings.
there are.
There's beers.
And a redshirt sophomore at the University of Central Missouri, Thomas Henson. And he shot a 112. And apparently everyone involved with the tournament and everyone on his tee time were not too pleased with the fact that he showed up and shot a 112.
First of all, I don't understand how this is a punishment. You got to play in a U.S. Open qualifier.
Yeah, but you
How
also
is that a
have people
punishment?
on every sports radio show talking about how bad of a golfer you are.
Exactly. No publicity is bad publicity.
All right.
I don't see how this is a punishment. Like, I've seen some good fantasy football punishments. Like, you have to go to your high school reunion not wearing pants.
Right.
That's still my favorite one that I've seen so far.
Yikes.
That's a punishment. That is a scarring event for the rest of your life.
Jeremy has for years tried to get me into a tattoo
And I'm all the way in.
And I'm 100%
look,
out.
I don't think we've ever said this on this show before. If I could find 11 people, you at me on Twitter, at ESPN Draft Nerd, I want to do a tattoo league so bad I cannot stand it. If you don't know what that is, that means that the winner of the league gets to decide a tattoo for the person that finished last.
Yes.
You cannot do faces or anything that will get you fired.
Right.
But I have long said I have a funny idea that I'm not going to disclose until somebody is willing to get it tattooed on their person.
Which leads everyone to go, okay, no. Because look, in all my years of doing fantasy football, I think there are 2 leagues that I have ever finished in completely last place. But you guarantee yourself the one time that I agree to do a tattoo league, that's the time it's going to happen.
Kevin Vick, first one says he's in. All right, we need 10 more. I don't have my Twitter pulled up, so I'll have to do that in the next commercial break. We get to 12, we'll do it on this show.
Yeah.
I have zero aversion to it.
Oh, and we'll do the tattooing live on the air.
I have finished last in a fantasy football league one time, and it was a dynasty league where I had typhooned my team and I had 6 first-round picks.
Right.
I feel just fine.
Feels just fine about it. Good Lord.
And the tattoo I have in mind, if I win it, is evil.
Who's shocked that Jeremy's come up with an evil plan?
Oh, I'll put it this way. You better really hope you're married because you do not want to have to explain this. The only hint I'm going to give you.
Gotcha.
Stephen Tow and Colin, they both say they're in too. We're a third of the way there, boys and girls.
There you go. All right, rumors going around the NFL about Christian McCaffrey. Apparently, the Buffalo Bills reached out to the Carolina Panthers and said, hey, Christian McCaffrey, what do you think?
And I said this on this show.
And the Carolina Panthers apparently responded, he's not available, which led a lot of people to say, well, he's not available for the Carolina Panthers either. 10 games in the past 2 seasons. Exactly. 10 games in the past 2 seasons, Christian McCaffrey has played for the I almost said the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, for the Carolina Panthers. And look, we've said numerous times since you signed that contract, since he got the big deal that made him the number 1 highest paid running back in the NFL, he's going to make $19 million this year. Anybody wants to take on that contract, anybody wants to step in, you should probably do that deal.
I don't think – I actually agree with Carolina.
Really?
And now you're in. Now, next offseason, now we can talk. Now we can talk. If this explodes this year, I would get it. But from what I have been told, Buffalo called not long after free agency started, so somewhere about the middle of March. This was before they drafted James Cook. They were just curious.
Right.
And there's a lot of former Carolina Panther personnel in Buffalo. I actually don't disagree with Carolina.
Oh,
now, a year from now, you can get out of this deal quite nicely.
Yeah, you'd be facing, what was it, $26 million dead cap hit if you traded him right now. I think that was the figure that I saw on Sport Track.
It would be a lot, but you can get out from it a year from now. I would not do it now. I want to see what this looks like with Sam Darnold, what it looks like with this line, what it looks like with everything together. Now, a year from now, if it goes sideways, yeah, we'll let the new coach figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
But I get it. And I will wager the offer was not nearly what you think it was. And when I say you, I mean metaphorically
right.
you.
I would love to know
I can tell
what
you,
the offer was.
I can tell you what I think it would be.
Okay.
3 and a 5.
A 3 and a 5.
3 and a 5.
Okay, yeah, I'd probably say no as well.
Yeah.
I would probably say no as well.
I got news for you. Nobody's giving you a 1. And if you disagree with me, I want you to think about what I'm going to say. The best receiver in the NFL got the 22nd pick in the draft and a 2. And then you had to pay him $1 jillion. What do you think a league that has basically universally said we do not value running backs at all, what do you think that would look like? Because I may be high.
You may be high.
I may be over-evaluating what somebody would offer.
Right. To me, I thought it was a bad deal when you did it. You gave him too much money. I know it was so enticing at the time because he had just, done something that nobody else had ever done with the 1,000 yards rushing and the 1,000 yards receiving. But ever since
I never said I didn't
deal,
get why you did it. I told you the day you did it.
Don't do it.
You are going to regret this.
Exactly. That was one. I believe that was that was in our first year of doing this show that we talked about the Christian McCaffrey deal. What a bad idea it was. I still think, like, what would the PR be on that? If you had made that deal, you knew automatically you had just submarined your head coach.
It would not have looked good. You know what else doesn't look good? How much is Christian McCaffrey going to make in 2022?
This is $19 million, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The average of the deal is $16 million. I'm curious how close you can come on this. How many running backs in the NFL make more than $8 million? So half of what McCaffrey averages.
I'd say 6.
You're a little low.
Okay.
It's 8.
Okay.
Aaron Jones, Joe Mixon, Nick Chubb, Derrick Henry, Dalvin Cook, Ezekiel Elliott, Alvin Kamara, Christian McCaffrey.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. And 3 of those deals are not aging well. And I would argue 2 more are not going to age well. I do not understand why anybody ever pays a running back.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a parent and your child plays football, let me give you a solid piece of advice. Any position but running back. I don't care if they're a kicker. The NFL now values kickers very closely to how they value running backs. So for me, if I'm Carolina, when the deal was offered, I'd have done it.
Mm-hmm.
And I would have thought the same thing back. I'll take the dead cap hit. I don't care.
Yep.
I want away from this deal. Now, the offseason fell as nicely as it could possibly have fallen for you. You got the number 1 offensive lineman in this draft at 6.
Agreed.
You didn't have to move.
Yep.
You got a quarterback that when I woke up this morning, I said I was only going to say nice things. So I'm not going to say anything about Mr. Coral. But everything's fallen into place where you could actually be way more competitive than people think.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, you said no. If this was now, I believe this is just a late-breaking story from something that was talked about 2 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're going to have to explain to me why you didn't do that. Unless it was, we'll give you a conditional 6th-round pick.
Right. If they were offering you just dirt, then sure. If they were offering something of substance, you should have taken the deal. But then, like I said, the PR hit, it would have been rough. But you were going to be bad anyway. Because I agree with Rob Johnson in our comments on the YouTube stream, who said they're going to be picking in the top 5 next year anyway. And I don't know that top 5 is necessarily true, but you could be in the top 10.
I'm not sure I agree with that.
Really?
I'm not sure I agree with that.
We'll have to see.
I love what Carolina has done.
And you know what? What that hinges on? The health of Christian McCaffrey.
And the health and ability of Sam Darnold.
And if he gets hurt again, Christian McCaffrey plays less than 9 games this season. He's definitely not going to be worth anything next year.
I had not prepped this stat, but our resident Baltimore Raven fan, Stephen Tao, said something to this effect. How many running backs in the NFL make more than Justin Tucker? It's a higher number than the number
8.
that it's more than 8.
Right.
It's not drastically more than 8.
It's like 13.
18.
18.
There are 18 running backs, and I genuinely believe this. 3 of them are going to be cut within the next 3 weeks. Yeesh.
Yeah.
Nyheim Hines, Chris Carson, and Kenyon Drake.
Nyheim Hines.
Oof. Stop it. Never pay running backs. You draft them when the contract expires. It was fun, and we're going to go draft another running back now.
Not a slight by any means on Justin Tucker. Or is it?
I'll be honest with you. I think Justin Tucker is more valuable than any running back in the NFL.
I agree. That's why I said that.
Yeah, I would genuinely say I believe having the best kicker in the league is worth more
than having Alvin Kamara?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, because it's such a short period of time. You had to invest a day 2 pick to get him in the first place. And the average career of a running back's 2.5 years?
Mm-hmm.
On the high side, it's 8. Just a theoretical question. I'm curious how close you get on this.
Okay.
How old is went right out of my head.
Alvin Kamara?
That's not who I was going to ask. Chris Carson.
Chris Carson?
I was staring at his name going, which one of these names was I referring to?
28?
He's 27.
He's 27.
He's 27, and Seattle has literally done everything in their power to go, we're out.
Right.
And he doesn't make that much money.
This is the biggest problem that I have with that Weddle game that you found. I don't know how old anybody is.
Oh, I have, in our YouTube comments, Tyler Cunningham said, expletive, you, for getting me addicted to that game. I've gotten that a lot of times since yesterday.
Yep.
I haven't played it one time since yesterday. It completely slipped out of my head until I saw somebody mention it.
Nice. Yeah, the Weddle game is fun. If you don't know, you should know. Check out, WeddleUnlimited.com.
WeddleUnlimited.com.
Yeah. Coming up next, we'll have Jeremy's picks of the night, 2 NBA games, as we have game 6s in the Eastern and Western Conference. Coming up next, Green on Green, here on ESPN Asheville.
Did you know Ingles only sells USDA Choice and Prime cuts of meat? Maybe it's time to reward yourself. Our butchers cut all our meat fresh in the store every day. Grass-fed, organic, you name it. Not only that, we'll even cut it to order just the way you like it. And we grind meat fresh in the store multiple times a day. It's all in the bag. That's the best meat in town for the best folks in town. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WBNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WBNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WBNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
Saturday, June 4th, the Cold Mountain Music Festival is back at beautiful Lake Logan, just outside Canton. It's a full day of music, food, and fun in the shadows of Cold Mountain, featuring Hiss, Golden Messenger, The Future Birds, The Mother Hips, Chatham Rabbits, and I Draw Slow. The gates open at noon. Music starts at 1. Get your tickets now at coldmountainmusic.org. Brought to you in part by New Belgium and proudly sponsored by iHeartMedia Asheville.
As a marketer, you want to reach everyone, adults, teens, millennials, but it's not like these groups all hang out in the same place, right? Actually wrong. They're all right here, listening to radio commercials just like this one. Radio ads connect with 93% of Americans every week. That's more than Google, more than Facebook, more than TV. In fact, radio reaches 20% more millennials than TV. Want more of the people you want to talk to all in one place? Visit iHeartAdvertising.com and get AM/FM working for you. That's iHeartAdvertising.com.
Deep in the remote jungles of Colombia, a new species has been spotted.
humans. These humans are using animal mating techniques in their search for true love and are forbidden to speak to one another.
Not talking sucks. You either have your mate here or you don't.
Someone's got to go home.
This is it, the jungle or die.
Dating's never been this wild. Love in the Jungle on Discovery Plus. Start your free trial. Terms apply.
I'm Katie Dean. I'm a Democrat running for Congress, and I'm asking for your vote on Tuesday, May 17th. I'm a Class 5 kayaker, mountain biker, environmental engineer, and I run an auto repair shop with my husband. I've spent the best moments of my life in Western North Carolina. We have to protect our public lands, but politicians aren't listening and don't understand. Send someone to Congress who has the grit to protect what makes Western North Carolina so special. I'm Katie Dean. I'm running for Congress, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Katie Dean for Congress. Do you think all premium fuels are the same? Well, your engine doesn't. Shell V-Power Nitro Plus helps keep your engine running like new because it's engineered to defend against 4 main engine threats: gunk, wear, corrosion, and friction. So next time, choose Shell's most advanced fuel ever. It's fuel for thought. In engines that continuously use Shell V-Power Nitro Plus premium gasoline.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. Thinking about gas mileage? Quality oil like Mobil 1 Full Synthetic can help you get more out of every mile. Got an older vehicle? Try Mobil 1 Full Synthetic High Mileage. Right now, you can get 5 quarts with an STP Extended Life oil filter for only $37.99. Get what you need for better fuel efficiency at any of our 6,000 stores or on AutoZone.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Coffee's for closers only. Get them the money. Then when you get the money, you get the power. That watch costs more than your car. Then when you get the power, then you get the whip.
3-1 last night. Had it not been for Milwaukee and Boston being so close, would have been a perfect 4-0. Only missed it by a few points. 4 picks for you tonight in the NBA. First one, the Miami Heat are a 2-point dog at the Philadelphia 76ers tonight, and that is stupid. I don't care that Kyle Lowry's not playing. I don't know why Vegas cares. It has meant less than 0 over the course of these playoffs, and yet it has been easy for me to take advantage of for what feels like forever. This one's easy to me. Heat +2. They end this series. The Sixers look listless. This one's over. Give me the Heat +2, over 207. Finally, the Phoenix Suns are a 2-point favorite at Dallas. Over-under is 214. I do think this will be a slugfest. I almost just went Suns money line here because I'm not quite sure how I feel about that number, but it's not big. The Suns are going to win this. They're going to end this series. They're going to send Luka packing. I'm taking the Phoenix Suns -2 over the 214.
Go and do likewise, gents. The money's out there. You pick it up, it's yours. You don't, I got no sympathy for you.
And as always, take those wagers to betus.com. Use the promo code Sportsocracy and get a 125% deposit bonus on whatever you put in, up to $2,500. Speaking of betus.com, and we were talking about Christian McCaffrey, you can get him right now plus 1,000 to win Comeback Player of the Year. Just throwing it out there in case, you feel like he is going to return to form from 3 years ago. Wouldn't be a bad wager, do you say?
It's not bad. I think Carolina would have to probably be better. Like, they'd almost have to make the playoffs for a running back to win that.
Okay.
And I don't know off the top of my head who I would prefer to have. That's not a bad. I mean, at 10-1 odds, that's not bad.
Odds-on favorites, Derrick Henry, plus 325.
See, and to me, that's going to be a struggle because he was leading the league in rushing. He missed 6 weeks.
Right.
Like, that's not a Comeback Player of the Year to me.
Jameis and Deshaun Watson are both plus 650.
Yeah, Deshaun Watson could be plus 60 million, and I would still not a chance.
Michael Thomas and Daniel Jones are plus 800.
Wow. Daniel Jones.
And then you also have, also at plus 1,000, Mitchell Trubisky and Marcus Mariota. Don't feel like that's a good wager.
I'm not going to go with that. Breaking news.
Oh, we got breaking news.
Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news? Who's gonna break the news?
This is from several people on Twitter. The one I'm seeing is Ari Merriff. Broncos receiver Jerry Judy was arrested this afternoon and is currently in custody in the Arapahoe County Sheriff's Office.
Oh, no.
Charges are not readily available. We do not know why.
It's never a good thing. Never a good thing to see a player has been charged, especially if they're not saying what the charges are at the
That's
moment.
not a good sign.
No. So anyway, we'll give you more info on that when we can. Coming up after the Sports Center update, we will play a little NFL free agency match game. Some big names still available out there. And we got the NFL schedule release coming up tonight. Just a programming reminder, we are going to be live on YouTube at 8 o'clock tonight. So go to thesportsocracy.com, click on that live video link, hit the subscribe button so you know every time that we go live.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
East winds coming from the ocean towards western North Carolina for a late week. Big area of coastal low pressure hanging out off the coast of Georgia, keeping those east winds into the weekend. We'll pick up the rain chances starting Friday and continuing into the weekend, and mainly in the 70s for the next few days. 58 our low tonight, and some showers possible Friday. High 73 degrees. I'm meteorologist Scott Lauriamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. Finding a great hire can be a challenge. That's why there's Indeed. Their powerful hiring platform makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 toward your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Do you think all premium fuels are the same? Well, your engine doesn't. Shell V-Power Nitro Plus helps keep your engine running like new because it's engineered to defend against 4 main engine threats: gunk, wear, corrosion, and friction. So next time, choose Shell's most advanced fuel ever. It's fuel for thought. In engines that continuously use Shell V-Power Nitro Plus premium gasoline.
Biting into a sandwich is good. Getting the perfect bite of KFC's juicy, hand-breaded, 100% white meat chicken filet with tangy mayo, thick-cut pickles, and a buttery brioche bun, that's finger-licking good. Order the KFC chicken sandwich in classic or spicy today. Prices and participation may vary.
iHeartRadio salutes the graduating class of 2022. Get your cap, your gown, because it's going down. A specially curated playlist featuring the biggest hits of this year you'll always be linked to. And it's not just about the class of 22. Download the free iHeartRadio app for the biggest hits from the year you graduated. 72, we got you. 95, you too. Plus, enjoy podcasts that'll help you map out your best life, whether you're just entering the real world or been here for a while. The free iHeartRadio app.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart Radio Station.
Around the top seeds in the East and West can advance to the NBA's conference finals with wins on the road tonight. Both games on ESPN TV. Coverage at 6:30 Eastern for the Heat and 76ers in Philadelphia. That game also here on ESPN Radio. Then it's Game 6 for the Suns and Mavericks in Dallas. After trailing by as many as 55 points against the Grizzlies in Game 5, Draymond Green of the Warriors says not to worry.
Just keep playing, you know, down by 55 or down by 5, lose by 50, lose by 5, you lost. It's one game in the loss column in the series, so you made too much of it.
Game 6 of that series back in San Francisco Friday night. 33-year-old Grizzlies GM Zach Kleiman is the NBA Executive of the Year. The Grizzlies had the league's second-best record this season at 56-26, tying the franchise record for wins. Kentucky Derby winner Rich Strike will skip the Preakness. Owner Rick Dawson says the plan is for Rich Strike to run in the Belmont Stakes.
Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max.
Drew Holiday definitely helped seal the game, but there's no way they're in a position to even seal the game unless Giannis has this masterful performance.
It's Friday with Key, J, and Max. It all starts at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2.
Now your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Fun. That's fun. Enter it on our station website now.
Log on to ESPNABL.com.
He's a degenerate gambler.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.
And he's cheaper than oxygen.
He's useless.
But somehow, they make it work. Jeremy Greene, Tank Spencer. There's no holding back in the Sportsocracy, presented by Ingles Supermarkets.
And welcome back into the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy heard live or on demand on the iHeartRadio app. And we always appreciate everybody tuning in with us on the YouTube stream, thesportsocracy.com. Just go to the website, click on that live video link in the middle of the screen, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. That gets you into our chat. Best way to get in touch with us immediately throughout the program. We'll comment on your comments, all of that good fun had in the Sportsocracy each and every afternoon at 3 right here on ESPN Asheville. And you can also get that alert when we go live for special events like we will be tonight at 8 o'clock for the NFL schedule release. We've got the leaks still coming out hot and heavy. I think the opening game for the Carolina Panthers looks like it's going to be the Cleveland Browns in town.
The Jets appear to be playing the Baltimore Ravens, for those of you that are so inclined.
On the first,
not what I wanted to open the season
on the first week.
That is not how I wanted to open this season.
No, that's going to be rough. We did have an official announcement from the NFL earlier today that in Week 4 we are going to have Sunday night football between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Kansas City Chiefs.
Two great letdown teams.
Oh, gosh.
Be two 1-2 teams at that point.
And then a Christmas night as well. Christmas night at 8:30. Tom Brady and Kyler Murray tangling down at the Barrel Cactus. Going to be a whole lot of fun.
3 Christmas games is such a wonderful present.
It is.
Thank you, NFL.
It is. We have we have a 1 o'clock game. We got a 4:20 game, and we also have the 8:30 game coming up on Christmas. So anyway, full release tonight. We will have our live reactions to the schedule only on the YouTube stream. Again, be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Just check us out, youtube.com/thesportsocracy. Free agency continues in the NFL. Now you've gone through the draft. You've filled some holes. Now what holes are left to fill and what big names are out there to be had? And I think everybody wants to know what's going to happen with Odell Beckham Jr.
The further this goes on, the less likely I find it that he's going to end up back in L.A.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't make any sense. You've already got Cooper Kupp. You're vested in Van Jefferson. You added Allen Robinson. I really don't. If you were going to do it, I don't know why you haven't already done it. And I'm sure he's trying to get back from the knee. I can't get away from the thought of him winding up in Green Bay.
Okay. All right.
They were the other contender on him, and he almost went to Green Bay at the deadline. And this may be the Will Fuller thing all over again. I said Will Fuller was going to go to Green Bay for, I think, the better part of half a decade, and it never happened.
All right, so here we go. That's our first matchmaker here on NFL Match Game, free agency style here in the Sportsocracy. All right, you got Odell Beckham Jr. with the Green Bay Packers. I mean, that would no doubt give them a number one legit wide receiver. It's hard for me to believe that Christian Watson is going to come in and be a really effective number one receiver.
Oh, he's
right
not.
away.
He's going to be a gadget guy. And when I say gadget guy, I feel like people think that means I'm talking about he's going to be used the way that Wan'Dale Robinson is in New York.
Yeah.
It's not so much that as he's going to have to develop. They do have Sammy Watkins. They do still have Lazard. You just don't have that one to me. And Green Bay just makes entirely too much sense. And I don't really see anywhere else that makes sense. Cleveland does, but I don't think we're going to do that again.
No. I think that ended so poorly. I don't believe that's
I was being 100% sarcastic.
Okay, good.
I mean, I'm sure Chicago would make the call, but I'm good. If I'm Odell, I'm good. I'm going to go to a winner.
Mm-hmm.
And you just look across the league, there has been such an influx of talent at the receiver position. I'll tell you another one, and I haven't heard this, but it would just make so much sense. Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota is better than people think. And it would make some form of sense.
To have Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, and Odell Beckham Jr.
Well, Thielen has regressed to such a point that he would be the 3 in that. And it wouldn't be really all that close.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I've always said he plays better out of the slot. But if I was putting a percentage on it, I would say the Packers are 75%. The Rams are probably 20%. Everybody else in the league makes up a gross 5%.
Okay. I can't get away from Julio Jones ending up in Indianapolis.
That's 99%.
Right.
There has been no traction on him whatsoever. And there shouldn't be. There shouldn't be. He is a shell of the player he used to be.
Mm-hmm. After 2 hurt seasons, who else would believe in him? Who else would who would be better for him to be matched up with than with Matt Ryan?
That's the only one that makes sense. At this point, he is such a husk of the player that he was that, I mean, you're going to be looking at just over the league minimum.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I had 6 receivers that I think would make more money than him, and it's not really all that close.
6 receivers left now that would make more money than him?
I mean, you got to realize how many guys are still out there.
Jarvis Landry.
Odell Beckham, Jarvis Landry, who we'll talk about in a minute. Will Fuller, I would say he's more attractive at this point.
I would agree.
It's going to be an ugly market. So if he wants to continue playing, which I think he does, you're going to have to basically take what's out there. I mean, he's played 19 games in 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
He has 82 catches in 2 seasons. That's not high-end production. But now you put him on the other side of Michael Pittman with Alec Pierce working out of the slot, couple tight ends there that I like, and the ability to run the ball. Now he's almost a specialized player. He would run as the 3 there. Alec Pierce would play out of the slot, but that's more him being a difficult matchup.
Right.
That's what he needs at this point. You're going to have to baby him. It's just what happens to 33-year-old receivers that play as hard as Julio did.
Who's your number 1 defensive player that's still available right now?
Number 1 overall?
Yeah.
James Bradbury.
That's he's my number 1. And you said Philadelphia the other day.
I said Philadelphia, and I've changed my mind. My mind was changed by somebody in the league. It's the Raiders, and nothing else makes sense.
Okay.
Philadelphia would be smart to make an offer, but the familiarity with Patrick Graham, the need, it just makes all the sense in the world. James Bradbury's a very specific kind of player. I've heard the talk about Carolina, and that's dumb. Stop talking about that. Take that, and there is a player that we're going to talk about to Carolina very, very soon, but it's not him.
Okay.
To me, it's 2-horse race. It's either the Eagles or the Las Vegas Raiders. Okay. And if I was the Raiders, I would just make it happen.
Yeah.
And you saw the move today with Jarrett Stidham getting shipped to the Raiders. This is what teams do. This is exactly what teams do.
Well, when you have
they bring in people that they're comfortable with to implement the system.
Right. When you have somebody that's out there that's available, that knows your system and can come in and not necessarily run your system in Jarrett Stidham's case, but at least having him in the room with Derek Carr will help the transition process for that offense.
I mean, unless you're the Bears, in which case they go and get Nathan Peterman, who has no affiliation to that franchise, no affiliation to anyone.
Well, they didn't really have a choice, though. I mean, they didn't have a good choice of, hey, let me go get who for Justin Fields.
There's somebody better than Nathan Peterman.
But I mean, if
that's
you're
like saying
of,
I need to get across town, and I could take an Uber, I could take a cab, I could take a bus. Nathan Peterman is the NFL equivalent of, or I could crawl on broken glass. Not a big fan of Nathan Peterman, if you can't tell.
Yeah. To run Luke Getsy's system, that we're going to bring in Kurt Bankert, who's still under contract with the Packers, right? I think.
Yeah.
So
I don't.
Can we trade for Jordan Love? No, we're not going to do that.
You could have brought in me, and I think basically and look, I'm not trying to go off on a tangent here, but the bad thing for the Bears, I just got my draft report card, which is, by the way, that's when we wait to put out draft grades. We kind of wait for the dust to settle, then we put out the grades. The Bears were universally in the bottom three.
Mm-hmm.
Virtually every high-end prognosticator has them in the bottom three.
Well, of course. They did nothing to put around Justin Fields.
I am not as low on Chicago draft-wise. I am very low on the offseason.
Mm-hmm.
And every passing day, I become more and more convinced that I was 147% right about Justin Fields.
That he wouldn't be good? Or that he'll
There's just
never
not
be,
a lot there.
He'll never be
and now
anything.
he was one of those players that you had to put everything around and hope for the best. They have put nothing around him. Hey, we got Byron Pringle. Good for you. That and $1 will get you a Coke.
All right, we're playing NFL free agency match game here in the Sportsocracy on this wonderful NFL schedule release Thursday afternoon. Reminder, we will be on YouTube this evening with our instant live reactions at 8 o'clock. So who's next, Jeremy? Who are you matchmaking with next?
The next one for me would be Dwayne Brown. And I'm going to speak this into existence. Anthony Hurt, one of our resident Indianapolis Colts fans, said, I hope you can speak the Julio Jones thing into existence. I'm going to speak the Dwayne Brown thing into existence if it kills me.
Mm-hmm.
Because how long have I been saying that? I thought it was going to happen on the first day of free agency.
For a while.
So
it's been
3 months in now.
Every time you mention Dwayne Brown, you've mentioned two teams. You mentioned the Indianapolis Colts and the Carolina Panthers. Well, the Panthers just got Ike Mekwonu in the draft, who's going to play on the left side. So Indianapolis has got a spot open.
And it was the Cincinnati Bengals early. But now I just look at him and go, he's going to want to go somewhere where he can win. I will give you $1 if you can name me the left tackle of the Indianapolis Colts right now.
Can't do it.
Matt Pryor.
Ah, yes. Matt Pryor.
Who?
The great Matt Pryor.
Ah, the pride of...
Don't look at me. You're the draft nerd.
I went to say it and I actually forgot. I've forgotten.
Matt Pryor from Southwestern Poughkeepsie State University. Okay. I think Pittsburgh would make a lot of sense for him.
Not really.
They need a left
Schematically, they do, but schematically it doesn't work.
Okay. Is that Eric Fisher's landing spot?
I've said that numerous times, that is one that does make some sense. And I think one of the two, they're each going to end up in one of the two.
Mm-hmm.
Dwayne Brown does not make as much sense with Pittsburgh. I don't think they are a contender right now. The Colts could be a contender. There is a less than 0 chance that the Colts are the 1 seed in the AFC this year. Look at the schedule before you tell me I'm wrong.
Okay. All right.
I've already looked at it.
Okay. I'm going to trust your judgment
They
on that
will
one.
have the Indianapolis Colts will win 10 games solely because they show up wearing helmets.
Okay.
I think they have the 4th easiest outside of the NFC least, which we don't count because they have the 4 easiest schedules. The other 28 relevant teams in the NFL, I think they have the 4th easiest schedule.
Okay. All right.
Pryor went to TCU. Thank you, Kevin Vick. That was driving me crazy. And Tyler Cunningham asked, where does Bernard Raymond, the rookie that they just drafted, where does he play? I always projected him to start on the inside. He's hyper athletic, but he's also hyper raw.
Mm-hmm.
And there were medical issues on him that I don't think you want to go in planning on him being a left tackle. Could be wrong. He's in their building, not mine. So they could see that differently than I do.
Yep. All right. Next up.
It's Jadeveon Clowney. And we do this every single year. And I'm so tired of hearing, well, you could go back to Cleveland. Why? You used 3 of your limited pieces of draft capital to fix the line. Why would you go back to Jadeveon Clowney? It doesn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
There is a team where it makes sense.
Carolina Panthers.
That's the one.
Yep.
That's the one where it makes all the sense in the world.
So you put him, so is he on the line? Is he hand in the dirt, or are you going to stand him up on the other side from Brian Burns?
I think I'm going to stand him up.
Okay.
He's done it before. I mean, look, he's never been a high-end pass rusher, and we all know that.
Mm-hmm.
But he's really good against the run. I think he's a nice compliment to Brian Burns. And I'll be honest with you, that one ad, name me the real weakness that team has outside of quarterback. It's tight end.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah, with Ian Thomas.
Who?
Why did you give him $8 million?
I'm convinced he has pictures of somebody doing something that they're not supposed to.
I would say that.
This guy has 9 catches in his life. Let's give him that many millions of dollars.
I would say that and wide receiver if they can't figure out how to catch the ball. That was a weakness last year.
Yeah, but I mean, you've still got Terrace Marshall that you took in the second round last year, DJ Moore,
I'm not
Robbie
saying
Anderson's still in the building.
Yeah, I'm not saying they don't have horses. I'm just saying, geez, guys, catch the damn ball. All right.
Okay, was that a reference that I should use my little catchphrase and change the first word?
I was expecting you to, but it's okay.
Catch the damn ball!
There you go. Thank you. Thank you for that.
That gets said in my house every Sunday at least 3 times.
How you mentioned this guy earlier, Will Fuller. Where do you see him ending up?
You know, Will Fuller is a weird case because he is so unbelievably, supremely talented. But he has this rare disorder where every morning he breaks his arms and every afternoon he breaks his legs, and his bones are made of a hybrid combination of popsicle sticks and glass.
And sometimes he gets suspended.
I physically have said he goes to Green Bay too many times. I'm not allowed to say that anymore. I'm not sure that he's not one of the – Cleveland is the one that still makes sense because of the relationship with Deshaun Watson. I just – everything I have heard from Cleveland is they are comfortable with Amari Cooper, Donovan Peoples-Jones, and David Bell, the third-round rookie playing out of the slot.
Mm-hmm.
So, to me, that screams more of a Will Fuller than anybody more high-level than that.
Well, depending on what comes out of the Jerry Judy thing, maybe the Denver Broncos could use a field stretcher.
Denver has 906 receivers. They have 11 people that can catch the football. Denver, you have issues. Just not that one. But Will Fuller strikes me as a guy that should come in as a fourth receiver, plays 15, 20 plays a game, and he's the deep ball guy. He's the guy that you have to take into account, and he needs to play out of the slot. Please stop playing him on the outside. If you've ever wondered why people like me harp so much on players that can play in the slot and players that can play on the outside, when did Will Fuller start getting hurt? When dumb Bill O'Brien went, hey, let's put your little 185-pound tookus on the outside and let these physical corners just manhandle you. That'll go so well.
Speaking of 185 pounds, not shortly after my birthday is when I could weigh 185 pounds. I'm losing almost 4 pounds a week now with the PhD weight loss program. My last weigh-in, I was 229 pounds, which means in 23 weeks, I have lost 66.4 pounds with PhD. I love this program. It is so simple. It fits into any schedule. And all it costs me every day is just a couple of salads and some healthy protein for dinner. It's very easy.
Now, my weight loss number is not quite as impressive as yours, but I had gotten over 300 pounds before I started the PhD weight loss program, which was leading to 2 very big problems. 1, I couldn't sleep. And 2, I ate everything in sight. Thanks to the program and the plan at PhD, both of those have been resolved. I'm sleeping like a baby. I'm eating better. And their food is convenient. That's what got me into the shape I was in. They fixed that problem. Thank you, PhD Weight Loss.
PhD Weight Loss has been an answer to a prayer that I really didn't even know I needed because I thought, hey, I'm just a big guy. This is the way I'm supposed to be. Don't live in that cycle anymore. Do something about it. Go to myphdweightloss.com. Look, it's good enough for me, and it's good enough for the Clemson Tigers because now PhD Weight Loss is the official weight loss program of the Clemson Tigers and their fans. We'll have more Matchmaker in free agency coming up next.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
East winds coming from the ocean towards western North Carolina for late week. Big area of coastal low pressure hanging out off the coast of Georgia, keeping those east winds into the weekend. We'll pick up the rain chances starting Friday and continuing into the weekend, and mainly in the 70s for the next few days. 58 our low tonight, and some showers possible Friday. High 73 degrees. I'm meteorologist Scott Larimore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
26 westbound is slow between Airport Road and the Blue Ridge Parkway. Haywood County 40 westbound crawling between Fines Creek Road and Harmondon Road. Sweden Creek Road north and southbound approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. Hendersonville Road moving incident-free. Near Avery Creek, Bavard Road northbound approaching Long Shoals Road delays. Near Inca Village, Sardis Road northbound between Sand Hill Road and Bavard Road, traffic is very busy. I'm Lyndon Field with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Dairy Queen. Hey, DQ fans. The new All-Star Summer Blizzard Treat lineup is here with flavors like the Girl Scout Thin Mints, the new Oreo Dirt Pie, Caramel Fudge Cheesecake, Cotton Candy, and more. There's something for everybody. Only at DQ. Happy tastes good.
The Winston-Salem Journal called it stolen valor. Madison Cawthorn lied about being accepted to the Naval Academy to get elected. In perpetual pursuit of celebrity, Cawthorn will lie about anything. That's why the Citizen-Times calls Cawthorn an attention-seeking embarrassment. Now, Madison Cawthorn starring in Vladimir Putin's state-owned TV. Putin used Cawthorn's outrageous views to defend his evil war crimes. And while Putin slaughtered innocent Ukrainians, Cawthorn voted against sanctioning Putin and banning the Russian oil funding Putin's terror. Worse than helping our enemies, Madison Cawthorn hurts our heroes. Cawthorn's plan cuts veterans' benefits by $80 billion. Devastating cuts to America's finest. It's shameful. Lying, limelight-loving Madison Cawthorn helps our enemies, but hurts our heroes. Results for NCP. Foreign is responsible for the content of this ad. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.resultsfornc.com.
Over 50,000 police officers are assaulted each year. Help police by not escalating. Address any complaints after the encounter. Comply now, complain later. Keep everybody safe. This message brought to you by the National Police Association. Learn more at nationalpolice.org.
May is Maytag Month, the hardest working month of the year, when you can save on hard-working Maytag performance. Like laundry pairs that make clothes think twice before getting dirty again. Refrigerators that make cold your new favorite flavor. And dishwashers that eat caked on oatmeal for breakfast.
Don't wait. Put the hardest working month of the year to work for you and save big on Maytag appliances now through June 1st. Because May is Maytag month.
River Ridge Marketplace in East Asheville has been a staple of Buncombe County for generations, and now they're inviting you to their Spring Fling, May 28th from 11 to 4. There'll be food from their great restaurants such as Happy Cinco de Mayo, J&S Cafeteria, and many more. They'll also have sidewalk sales from their amazing vendors, snow cones, inflatables, and a petting zoo for the kids. So join me May 28th from 11 to 4 at River Ridge Marketplace.
Did you know Ingles only sells USDA Choice and Prime cuts of meat? Maybe it's time to reward yourself. Our butchers cut all our meat fresh in the store every day. Grass-fed, organic, you name it. Not only that, we'll even cut it to order just the way you like it. And we grind meat fresh in the store multiple times a day. It's all in the bag. That's the best meat in town for the best folks in town. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
The Sportsocracy.
Why are you smiling? Because I love football.
And we're playing NFL free agency match game. Who's left on the market? Where will they land? Flostradamus, Jeremy Greene. We've been asked in the comments on YouTube about Ndamukong Suh. Do you have a guess on where the big man might end up?
To be honest with you, I don't know. Because at this point, he plays... I think he could play inside in the 4-3, but his best fit is as that outside in the 3-4.
Right.
And I just don't see I mean, look, he was not good last year. I mean, you're a Bucs fan. You can speak to that way better than I can.
Right. He was not his usual disruptive self. However, there were still splash plays.
He had moments.
Yeah.
He had moments.
And I feel like they did a good job of limiting his time on the field. I think he only played like 66% of snaps last year.
He did.
Which is a big drawback from the 75 he was playing the year before. So he's a situational player.
And that's where he fits best. I would have said Philadelphia before they went Jordan Davis and brought back Fletcher Cox.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I have to at least take a stab at somewhere.
The Chargers.
No, I feel like if they were going to do that, it'd be Akeem Hicks.
Okay.
Because that one, and that's one that's made sense to me forever that just never came to fruition.
Mm-hmm.
I genuinely don't have one.
Okay.
I just don't know where he fits.
All right, make some more matches for us here.
A guy that we haven't talked about yet, Jarvis Landry. Here's what I can tell you definitively about him. I think it's Baltimore. I know they don't necessarily need more smallish receivers.
Mm-hmm.
He made the biggest boo-boo of any player in free agency. He turned down $15 million because he was seeking 20.
Right.
When the Christian Kirk deal happened, he thought, well, I'm better than that. Well, you overplayed your hand. And now I would say he's in the $5 million one-year prove-it deal territory. And it just strikes me as the kind of deal that you see Baltimore make.
He did meet with the New Orleans Saints as well in the offseason process, and I know they just got Chris Olave, but Jarvis Landry as a 3? Maybe.
But the problem then is now I've got 3 receivers, and they all play best out of the slot.
Right.
And to me, it was just never a fit. I mean, I understood. I completely understood why they did it, but it's just, to me, it's not a fit.
Mm-hmm.
For Landry, I would say it's Baltimore. I'm not going to say or bust. Somebody would do it, but that's the best case scenario.
Okay.
Then you have him and Bateman, and that's with the tight ends and the talent on that team. That's probably your best case scenario.
Mm-hmm.
Another one I want to talk about, Trey Flowers. If he doesn't end up in New England, I'm almost to the point of I will eat the can I'm drinking out of. My question is, what's taking so long? I thought as soon as the compensatory formula was satiated that would happen immediately.
Right.
But it hasn't.
All right. So Trey Flowers with the New England Patriots. What about J.C. Treader?
Miami Dolphins. That's the one that makes immaculate sense. They didn't have a lot of draft capital, and I said the one thing you need is a center, and he fits into that.
He would be the rug that ties the room together there for the Miami Dolphins.
And I think he would do I think he would be good in that scheme at this point in his career. He's more name than he is greatly valuable player. And look, I'm not saying he's not good. It's just I feel like people identify the name and go, that's a top 5 center in the league. No, it is not.
Also, before we give you an update on the Jerry Judy situation and we get weird, another guy that I know you really, really like, Alexander Johnson. Where do you think he would fit best?
His best case scenario would have been to go back to Denver, but I don't think that's available now. The one I look at is Philadelphia. You pair him with Nakobe Dean, and I know Philadelphia does not put a lot of time, money, and effort into off-ball linebackers, but that's one that I've gotten more comfortable with as time's gone on.
Okay. Jerry Judy, the news broke at the end of the last hour that he has been arrested and has or is in the process of being officially booked into the Arapahoe County Jail. Tony Kovaleski, chief investigative reporter for Denver 7, the local TV station out there in Denver, says that he has spoken to someone close to the investigation, and the only thing they're saying about the charges right now is that it is a domestic situation, which we all know is never good words to hear when it comes to a player and whether he is going to face repercussions from the league.
On the weird scale, there's Vegas, there's Florida, and there's Asheville. Let's get weird, Asheville.
Oh, this is a story that is something of a personal triumph for me, and you know what? I can't wait to take some of you insensitive people to court.
I know exactly what story you're getting ready to tell.
Apparently, it is now sexual harassment to refer to a man as bald. It comes to us from from England. Tony Finn had worked at the West Yorkshire-based British Bung Company. I don't want to know what they make.
I don't even kind of want to.
For almost 24 years. When he was fired in May of last year, he took them to court, claiming that, among other things, that he had been the victim of sexual harassment following an incident with a factory supervisor named Jamie King. Mr. Finn alleged that during a shop floor row that almost erupted in violence in July of 2019, Mr. King had referred to him as a bald bleep. Is that bad word that they can say over there, but we can't say over here?
Oh, you mean the Jim Jeffries word?
The Jim Jeffries word,
yeah.
Yes. Unless you have that accent, it doesn't
Not
sound
allowed. Nope.
decent for that
In
word.
my accent, it's just really crass, and you can't get away with it.
Yeah. Just if you don't know what word we're talking about, ask your wife what's the worst word you could possibly say, and she'll probably tell you what the word is.
Or watch any Jim Jeffries stand-up for 14 seconds. You'll hear it twice.
But the judge in this case ruled that, yes, it is sexual harassment because hair loss is much more prevalent among men than women, so using it to describe someone is a form of discrimination. So just remember that next time you want to call me that word.
Bald. You are. And that's the thing. You are.
Lawsuit.
I don't like your chances.
It's a lawsuit.
Speaking of people who's... this is one of the weirder stories you'll ever hear, and it is proof positive of karma. This happened in Trenton, South Carolina. The man's name is Joseph McKinnon. He was 60 years old, and he was found lying unresponsive in his backyard. Unfortunately, Mr. McKinnon was past present.
Oh.
And the reason that he was found is because the local sheriff's department was doing a wellness check for his girlfriend. So they find Mr. McKinnon, they call an ambulance, the DOA. He's dead on arrival.
Yeah.
They go through the house. There is no sighting of the girlfriend, whose name was Patricia Ruth Dent.
Mm-hmm.
Well, as they go through the house, they do not find Miss Dent. They get very confused. And it's about this time they notice that Mr. McKinnon was past present on a very freshly dug hole. Well, turns out that Miss Dent was in the hole because he had killed her, dug a hole, put her in it, and then had a heart attack and died.
And karma.
That is the most immediate karma you will ever hear, ever.
Wow. So he had done murders.
He had done crimes.
Then tried to conceal said murders.
Yep. And then the great laws of the universe went karma'd.
Right. The Lord smote him down.
That is, I mean, I've seen some bizarre things in my life, but to have an immediate heart attack after doing crimes?
I mean, you hate to chuckle about somebody's death, but you'll say if somebody deserved it, it's probably somebody who just did murders.
You do murders, you don't get the law of respect.
Yeah. Jason Trump says maybe it was a Romeo-Juliet situation. Gonna say no.
No. I mean, look, I'm not an avid reader, but I do not remember the part in that book where Romeo buried Juliet.
Mm-hmm.
I do not. I don't remember that part.
Right. NFL schedule releases tonight. We will be live on the YouTube stream at 8 o'clock with all of our instant reactions from said NFL schedule release. We are at the official halfway point between regular seasons. As I said earlier in the program, Scott Hansen of NFL Red Zone fame,
Quadbox,
tweeted out earlier today that it has been 123 days since Week 18, and it will be 122 days until the next Week 1 episode of, what is it, 9 hours?
7 hours of commercial-free football.
Which I cannot wait for.
I want to do the YouTube version of that, where I can say swears and things like that.
The problem is, you know, licensing and stuff.
Well, I mean, I don't have to show the games.
We'll see.
You can watch the games.
But why? But why?
You can watch the games and listen to the adult version of Red Zone.
Okay, the adult version of the reactions of the Red Zone channel. Sure. Okay. Well, we've had leaks coming out all day long about what games are going to fall in where. Apparently, Week 1 is going to begin, according to sources, with the Bills at the LA Rams.
That is the worst kept secret in the history of time.
Well, you knew it was going to be a primo matchup.
Oh, yeah. And that's fantastic.
Oh, no doubt. That will be the game of the week.
I'm very disappointed that there's not a Monday night doubleheader the first week. Why did we flex that to week 2? Why do we not just do that, period?
Oh, just static doubleheader first Monday night of the season.
Every Monday night. All of them.
Every Monday.
Till week 17.
I don't think we need 2 Monday night football
100%
games.
we do. We need all the football games.
I like it being a special thing.
No, I don't. I want it to just happen.
Okay.
But, I mean, things to look for tonight. Are there any teams that you're really interested to see how the schedule breaks down?
I mean, I know I've said this before, but obviously the Cardinals. The Cardinals
are one that you should really pay attention to.
Right.
If that first 6 weeks is a murderer's row, Cliff Kingsbury may not make it out of it.
Right, just mail it in the rest of the season because, you start out with a tough schedule to start out with, which is a great possibility because I believe that there's 3/4 of their games that they could easily lose those games.
I'm curious to see what the hyper-competitive divisions schedules look like. The AFC West, the AFC North, who gets the breaks that could sway that?
Mm-hmm.
And we'll talk about that tonight on the live stream. Whose odds get drastically better? Because it's going to happen for someone.
Right.
Baltimore gets my Jets in week 1, so looking good for you.
Right. Now, with the Jerry Judy thing, you have to take into account the Denver Broncos schedule. If that starts out really hard.
Denver was one I was interested in anyway. And I apologize. I don't remember who said this in the comments. I think it was Tyler Cunningham, but I'm not positive. They're one of the most overhyped teams I've ever seen.
Well,
like in all the years I've been watching the NFL, I don't think I've ever seen a team that people just seem to put their fingers in their ears and forget all of the issues. Forget this is a first-time head coach, but we got a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
You do realize that you bear a striking resemblance to the Seattle team he was on last year, right?
Well, that's because we kept talking last year about the one thing this team is missing is a quarterback.
And look, I don't disagree with that. I don't diminish that. I just feel like the other warts on this team are being ignored. It's going to take some time. That's another team. You want to see that schedule really backloaded, especially with the Jerry Judy news coming out today. You want to see as many of those difficult matchups being later in the season as humanly possible.
Yep.
Because they're going to need time.
Well, and the first Monday night football game of the season, it has been leaked out, will be the Denver Broncos at the Seattle Seahawks.
That's one of those narrative
game.
That's one of those games that appeals to you and just means nothing to me. Oh, look, Russ is going back to Seattle. Woo!
Because if we don't have a good matchup...
What do you think they're going to do? Throw rotten produce at him?
I don't feel like that's going to be a good matchup. I feel like 100 times out of 100, I'm picking that game. I'm picking the Denver Broncos over the Seattle Seahawks. So at least give me a narrative to hang on to. It adds some intrigue.
Yeah,
past the first 5 minutes of the broadcast, when they do the introduction, because they'll do it live and have Russell Wilson running out onto the field to all of the boos or the cheers, however it's going to be. I'll just be interested to see how he's received.
Oh, it'll be cheers.
I'm sure it will be.
It'll be cheers. No doubt. You can't boo Russell Wilson. I mean, surely. I've been surprised before.
You wouldn't think. The guy that won you a Super Bowl took you to another one. I don't feel like you can feel real spurned by Russell Wilson. You knew this was coming for 2 years.
I mean, it needed to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it is not a great look that you're relying on Geno Smith, but just don't boo people that were good to you. Russell Wilson was like the consummate team guy.
Right. Panthers fans, the first week we've said before is going to be at Bank of America Stadium against the Cleveland Browns reportedly. They've got the first few weeks here have been leaked out. Panthers and the Giants, week 2. Panthers and the Saints in week 3. You got the Panthers and the Cardinals in week 4.
Yeah, you can trust those at your own peril.
Panthers 49ers in week 5. They've got a great deal of the Panthers schedule has been leaked out. Don't know what week 6 is, but week 7's apparently Panthers against the Bucs.
Yeah, you can trust that at your own peril.
Yeah.
Every team's schedule has been leaked to some point. They've almost all been invalidated at this point.
Okay.
Somebody put out a full Jet schedule yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think one game on that was actually right.
Really?
I can't remember who they had us playing originally in week 1, and then basically six hours later, nope, playing Baltimore. And I went from really happy to really sad.
Okay, we have a update here on the Jerry Judy situation from Adam Schefter. Being held at the Arapahoe County Jail on charges of second-degree criminal tampering with a domestic violence enhancer, which is a misdemeanor. I have no idea what any of that means.
That's a lot of words. That I know all of those words,
Right.
but I do not know them in that order.
Criminal tampering with a domestic violence enhancer, but it is a misdemeanor. He is on a no bond hold. He is innocent until proven guilty, according to Adam Schefter. That is the I guess the quote that he got from someone in the know. Yeah.
I don't know what any of that means.
I don't either. But I'm sure we will get, of course, we will get more details as the story unfolds. We also have the NBA tonight. We got 2 games in the NBA. We haven't talked about either of the games last night.
Here's what to talk about. Boston can't close.
Right.
Surprise, surprise. And the Warriors have a problem.
Do they, though? I mean, because I felt like last night was just kind of a off night.
They got beat by 50.
Oh, I get it.
They were down 54 points going to the fourth quarter.
It got out of hand quickly.
There's getting
they pulled
drugged.
The starters.
There's getting drugged.
Mm-hmm.
And that, you don't put that much into. I'm caught up by the dancing on the bench and you got to understand, they could very easily be down 3-2 in this series.
True, they were a layup away from losing, what was that, game 3?
Yeah. The Grizzlies 100% beat themselves more than the Warriors beat them.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking at this now going, okay, so you probably still win this series. Not sure how I'm going to feel about Game 6. I'll know after I dig in a little more tomorrow.
Yeah.
You would go into Phoenix and get absolutely eviscerated by that team. And they do that thing that really irritates me, which somebody starts and then plays 5 minutes. Stop doing that. Stop doing that. I despise that.
Why?
Because what is the point? Why does Jonathan Kuminga start and you trot him out there for the first set and he never touches the floor again?
Mm-hmm.
I used to call this Andre Drummonding because he was really notorious for doing it with the not was it the Nets? I think it was the Nets.
Or the Cavs.
Yeah, I don't remember. It's one of those teams that
he currently plays for the Nets.
And that's who I think it was.
Okay, all
DeAndre
right.
Jordan did that with the Nets too. Oh, you start the game. Did you literally only put him in there to win the tip? Was that the only goal?
Right.
I just don't think Golden State's as good as everybody else does. I mean, look, I get Steph, is special.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that death lineup, it has gotten less effective and less effective and less effective as time has gone on. And now, even if you win this series, which I do still believe they will, now your reward is you're going to try to do that against DeAndre Ayton.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. With a team that still has Devin Booker and Cam Johnson and Cam Payne and guys that can 100% shoot you out.
Yep.
That's an ugly setup to me. There's no team happier in the NBA right now than the Phoenix Suns. They're sitting back going, I don't care which one of you it is.
Mm-hmm.
It will look different depending on which one of you we get. We will slaughter either one of you.
Right. Steph Curry, Draymond Green both pulled off the court at like the 6-minute mark or something.
Which I have to give Steve Kerr credit. Quarter. I mean, how many guys have we seen get hurt in meaningless games that were without a doubt out of hand?
Well, it wasn't Steve Kerr.
Or not Mike Brown. It's a Steve Kerr move. He does the same thing.
Right. And news is
Steve Kerr has Rona.
Yeah, Steve Kerr will not be back for Game 6.
How much does that mean to you?
Not a thing.
It means a thing, but it's a small thing.
It means more to me that Steve Kerr is going to miss or has missed games and will probably miss Game 6 for the Golden State Warriors than it meant to me that Terry Francona tested positive for the Cleveland Guardians. Baseball is one of those things. Like, come on.
I could manage a baseball team.
I would say so. I mean,
I don't know who any of the players are, and I don't care.
Right. I mean, in a pinch, you could fake your way through that.
Absolutely.
But in the NBA, I think there's a little bit more coaching that goes on with that. And in the NFL, that is the one sport where I would go, okay, yeah, I'm concerned if the coach is not on the field. But in the NBA, I don't really care all that much.
I just don't think it matters. I've heard a lot of narrative that, that's why they got blown out last night. No.
Well, what happened in the game before?
No, they got blown out because they were bad.
They were. And I also see that as that's just a one-off. It was a one-off. Everybody has a bad night, and we can move along. Because I feel like they have the advantage in this series. I know you said, what was it, analytically, the Grizzlies are more efficient when Ja Morant's not there, but that obviously hurts. Not having Ja Morant out there to take over games in the fourth quarter and to be as explosive as he is, you're not as good of a team. Granted, you were 20-5 without him, which is great, but I think a lot of people are jumping off of bridges here, going, oh, see, we told you this Grizzlies team was good without Ja. Okay. I mean, they had backs against the wall at home.
It's not going to be easy because now Golden State's going to have to go into the grindhouse in Game 6.
No, they're going back home for Game 6.
Oh, that's right. I've had that series backwards the entire time.
Yeah.
All the Grizzlies have to do is win Game 6, and then Game 7 is in the grindhouse.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that Golden State wins that.
Really?
I don't. If I'm Golden State, I'm putting this away tomorrow.
Oh, absolutely.
Because if you don't, and this is a winner-take-all, I don't love your chances.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
But experience it. It doesn't matter.
Right.
It doesn't matter. It does. I mean, it matters, but not to that point.
Right. That was the loudest I think the FedEx Forum probably has ever been in Memphis. And it made, when I saw what was happening and I tuned in to see the whoop that trick chant going on, it made me miss my days in Memphis. That's one of those games that I wished I'd have been there for that.
I laughed aggressively because to be honest with you, I didn't watch a second of the first half.
Mm-hmm.
When I turned it over to that channel and saw the score, I audibly laughed out loud.
Yep.
And went, yep, that's not what I thought was going to happen, but that makes plenty of sense.
All right, the 2 games tonight. You got more tips for the folks to win some money? Let's do 5 on it.
Really hope you listened to me yesterday with that Bucks money line thing because that worked out quite nicely. Bankroll sitting at $751.39, and I got 3 picks for you tonight in the NBA. First, I got 25 on it. Phoenix Suns, Dallas Mavericks over the 214. I do think this game will be close. I think Luka is going to give it everything he has to carry this one more night. I don't think it's going to happen. I got 25 on it over the 214. I got 50 on it. Suns minus the 2. I do think it'll be close. I almost just went Suns money line here, but I'm gonna, we're playing with a little buffer. It's been a good week. Going Suns minus the 2. I got 50 on it. Finally, I got 50 on it. The Miami Heat in the money line tonight at the Philadelphia 76ers. I do think they're going to win this game outright. I think this is where it ends. Philadelphia just needs too many things to go right, and I don't think it's going to. I got 50 on it. Miami Heat in the money line.
You're in the Sportsocracy here on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. Don't forget to like us and subscribe to us on the YouTube channel. We'll be live tonight for the NFL schedule release on YouTube at 8 o'clock. Take a break. When we come back, Jeremy, you got a good one worked up for us today. He's going to be mad.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Go 26 westbound between Airport Road and the French Broad River. An accident east of Brevard Road has the right lane closed. 26 eastbound stop and go between Brevard Road and the French Broad River in Haywood County. 40 westbound crawling between Vines Creek Road and Harmon Den Road. Sweeten Creek Road, north and southbound, approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. Near Avery Creek, Brevard Road, northbound, approaching Long Shoals Road, delays. Checking the drive time from Biltmore Forest to Fletcher via Hendersonville Road, southbound, drive time 17 minutes. I'm Lyndon Field with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. Finding a great hire can be a challenge. That's why there's Indeed. Their powerful hiring platform makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 toward your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
I'm Katie Dean. I'm a Democrat running for Congress, and I'm asking for your vote on Tuesday, May 17th. I'm a Class 5 kayaker, mountain biker, environmental engineer, and I run an auto repair shop with my husband. I've spent the best moments of my life in Western North Carolina. We have to protect our public lands, but politicians aren't listening and don't understand. Send someone to Congress who has the grit to protect what makes Western North Carolina so special. I'm Katie Dean. I'm running for Congress, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Katie Dean for Congress.
Sharing sides is good. Getting enough so you don't have to? That's finger licking good. Choose 3 large KFC sides, like secret recipe fries or creamy mac and cheese with 8 pieces of tenders or fried chicken when you get KFC's Side Lovers Meal. Order now on the KFC app. Prices and participation may vary.
Macy's One Day sale starts tomorrow with great deals of the day, like 50 to 60% off versatile suits and blazers for him, and 55% off Charter Club damask sheets and bedding. Plus, find the perfect accessory with 40 to 50% off designer handbags and wallets. And get even more great deals like these on the Macy's app. Download it for free today. Savings off sale and clearance prices, exclusions apply.
Rogue Combat Club, Asheville's home for comprehensive martial arts training, has a goal for our community, one that's stronger, more fit, and unwavers in its support of one another. Rogue Combat Club's instructors have competed at the highest levels and offer classes for everyone from young children to adults in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Muay Thai, and wrestling. Rogue Combat Club classes can help you boost your self-confidence and self-defense skills while weeding out the egos and intimidation found at other gyms. Join today at roguecombatclub.com.
I believe real estate isn't about properties. It's about people. I am Clarissa Marshall with eXp Realty, serving all of Western North Carolina. Navigating the home buying and selling journey can feel overwhelming at times, and that's why having an agent who cares about you and your needs is key. I'm a native of Western North Carolina, and I close over a home a week. I'm an expert in the market, pricing my sellers correctly to net you the most money, and working as a skilled negotiator for my buyers. Please give me a call today at 828-774-6343 to set up a complimentary market analysis.
Dirty Perky Shark back flat.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore.
Shark back flat.
Good. Let the hate flow through you.
Something I've complained about for a long time is people that bemoan things because of the money you make. I see this often on social media when salaries of NFL players or whatever the case may be are put out there and, well, for $25 million, you should never complain about anything. Stop talking. At least stop talking about things you don't understand. Well, now this is coming from somebody that actually works in the industry. Notre Dame head basketball coach talking about Mike Bray talking about name, image, and likeness deals said, and I quote, "Coaches have got to stop complaining. This is the world we're in, and last time I checked, we make pretty good money. So everybody should just shut up and adjust." Man, that's really easy for the head coach at Notre Dame to say. I'll guarantee you there are probably 300 coaches in college basketball that all sitting in their office went, "Oh, will you please just shut up?"
Right.
And to throw in the, "we make pretty good money to do it." Stop talking. This is an absolute disaster that's going to crush your sport. And your tact is to go, "We should stop complaining about this and just let it happen." Mike Bray, I'm mad.
When I saw Mike Bray's comments, I thought, well, that's kind of what I've been saying the whole time.
Yeah, and I would say the same thing to you that I just said to him.
Yep.
Yeah, just roll over and take this. See how long it exists.
I don't see college basketball, college football going anywhere. This is the time we live in now. There have to be some restrictions, yes. But
well, that's what everyone's bemoaning.
Yeah.
Nobody's saying you're going backwards. The toothpaste is out of the tube on that one.
Right.
The thing is, somebody at some point is going to have to go, no, we can't keep doing this.
Mm-hmm.
We can't keep having players that are basically just being sniped off lesser rosters. It's happening every single day. At some point, you're going to have to put some reins on it.
No doubt. Mike Bray, there is some truth to what he says. You're going to have to deal with it, but shutting up is not the option here, especially for those coaches at less fortunate schools than Notre Dame. I am Tank Spitzer. He's Flostradamus, Jeremy Greene. It's been a good ride here over the last 2 hours. Join us this evening on YouTube at 8 o'clock. We'll be live for the instant reactions to the NFL schedule release and, of course, all of the recap of it coming up tomorrow right here on ESPN Asheville, back here at 3.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
East winds coming from the ocean towards western North Carolina for late week. Big area of coastal low pressure hanging out off the coast of Georgia, keeping those east winds into the weekend. We'll pick up the rain chances starting Friday and continuing into the weekend, and mainly in the 70s for the next few days. 58 our low tonight, and some showers possible Friday. High 73 degrees. I'm meteorologist Scott Lariamore. That's the latest Weather Channel forecast.
This report is sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone. Starting stronger starts at AutoZone, where they've got battery solutions in the form of free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes them America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
This is your time saver traffic on the new ESPN Asheville.
Go 26 westbound between Airport Road and the French Broad River. An accident east of Brevard Road has the right lane closed. 26 eastbound stop and go between Brevard Road and the French Broad River in Haywood County. 40 westbound crawling between Fines Creek Road and Harmon Den Road. Sweeten Creek Road, north and southbound, approaching Mills Gap Road is slow. Near Avery Creek, Brevard Road, northbound, approaching Long Shoals Road, delays. Checking the drive time from Biltmore Forest to Fletcher via Hendersonville Road, southbound, drive time 17 minutes. I'm Lyndon Field with your Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Dairy Queen. Hey, DQ fans. The new All-Star Summer Blizzard Treat lineup is here with flavors like the Girl Scout Thin Mints, the new Oreo Dirt Pie, Caramel Fudge Cheesecake, Cotton Candy, and more. There's something for everybody. Only at DQ. Happy tastes good.
From the Ingles Studios, this is ESPN Asheville, WPEK, W225CJ Fairview, WMXF Waynesville, and iHeart radio station.